John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. I've got another tooth of the arrow broadhead to test here. They've been making some great heads, right? And you've seen over the years a lot of the tests, maybe you have, check them out if you haven't. A lot of the tests that I've done, I've used them on a lot of hunts as well in the vented model. But this year, in 2022, they've come out with the solid model. And I've tested a few of those already. Check out those videos if you haven't already. But this is the solid XL. So it's an XL solid in 125 grains. Okay, they make 100, 125. They used to only make these in 175. So I'm really eager to see how this head performs. I've used Tooth of the Arrow for quite a while on a lot of hunts, and I really like the XL. And I have a feeling that I'm going to like this one, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to see how it performs. So I'm going to be using my Bowtech SR6 set at 72 pounds and 27-inch draw, Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shots, but then I'll be using the Bishop Fat Eliminators for the really hard impact shots. And for a detailed description of all the tests that I'm doing for 2022, you can read about that in the description box below the video, and also read the scores that have how it performed in each of the areas that I test. But let's zoom on in here and check out this 125 grain solid XL. Here's a good look at the 125 grain XL solid. This is machined out of a single chunk of 1141 tool steel, and it's brought to a Rockwell hardness of 40 to 45, which seems a little bit light. However, due to the structural integrity of the design and the thickness of the blades and so forth, they say it's a good balance of being able to be durable and hold its edge, as well as being relatively easy to resharpen. Now, the cutting diameter is a full 1 3/16 inches, two ways. So the total cut is 2.375 inches. That's a lot of cut, and yet it's really short at the same time. It's less than 9/10 of an inch in length as it extends beyond the end of the arrow shaft. That makes the overall surface area for such a big head relatively small to aid in flight as well as penetration. The blade angle here is 45 degrees, also to aid in the penetration. And what they've done is they previously only had vented heads, but they've taken a little bit of the weight from the ferrule. They had a really thick ferrule before, taken a little bit of the weight from the ferrule, and they've used it to fill in the blade. So it's a really cool design. They did that with the 1 inch that I tested just a little while ago. And check out the test if you haven't seen that already. And they've done that now with the 1 3/16 inch, the XL as well. And like I said, this is the 125 grain. They also make 100 grain XL, which is really cool. And what they did for that is they just took a little bit more of a scoop out of the ferrule. So still a nice, thick, durable ferrule, but took a little bit more of a scoop out of it to save that extra 25 grains. So really eager to put this head to the test and see how it performs. Let's check out this 125 grain XL solid. .325. It penetrated 7 inches. It may not look like that, the way the lens of my camera lines up with the tape measure and everything, but I've measured it multiple times from different angles, and it is 7 inches. .375. It penetrated through 63 layers, and that's especially impressive given its really short blade design and really flared out blade angle, reaching that full 2.4 inches of cut, meaning that if you compared it to a lot of heads that are really long and narrow, a lot of those layers are cut with just a really long, narrow tip. This one is actually cutting through a lot of tissue as it goes through those 63 layers. Here's the head after going through the MDF 3 times and the steel plate 2 times. And man, you can't even tell it's been shot at all. And then here's the holes that it makes. Man, it just makes impressive square cutouts in the steel plate. And here's a good comparison. This is my steel plate with a lot of other heads that have shot through it. And you can see the 2 holes by the Tooth of the Arrow XL solid there just stand out. Really impressive. Here's the head after hitting the concrete, and man, it did really well. I mean, what can I say about the durability of these Tooth of the Arrow heads, especially the solids? Man, they've done really well. I mean, the venteds did really well also, but I imagine these are just going to be even more durable. But for such a big cut like that and flared out so much with such a wide cut, man, through the MDF, and then 2 shots through the steel plate, and then a hard impact into the concrete, it came out looking really good. I mean, it can definitely be resharpened and reused. Still spins fairly well there, almost perfectly, maybe a slight little bit of a wobble to it, but really, really impressive durability. So what'd you think? You know, I tell you what, this is a winner of a Broadhead. I've liked everything that Tooth of the Arrow has made, but this may be my favorite so far because I really like 125 grains and have a solid in 125 grains with this kind of durability and this kind of cut size. Man, it's just hard to beat this head for a fixed blade head for deer-sized animals and smaller, or even bigger animals than that if you have enough momentum to drive it deep enough. But this is really a good head. Check out the score sheet in the description box and see how it performed in each of the areas, and especially focus on the areas that mattered to you the most, and see if it might be a really good fit for you. You know, I've liked Tooth of the Arrow so much, I approached them and asked them if they would give me a discount code to offer to my viewers, and they did. So a number of you have used them over the years, but if you type in Lusk19, Lusk19, then you get a 15% discount on anything you purchase from them, and that's pretty good because they're not very expensive already, and they're made in America, and you know, I mean, there's just a lot of upside to this company and to this head. So great job, Tooth of the Arrow. Keep up the great work.